The first thing you want to do when you're creating your new form is to navigate to a folder where you would like to store it. So I've got my resources A to Z. If I go to T, I've got Triad there. So I'm going to store my new form in this folder. If we click on New and More, I should see Google Forms at the top. What we're looking at now is the editing template for a form. There's kind of three parts to the form, all of which are linked together. This is the editing template, there's the live form that the students will see, and then there's the destination spreadsheet where all the answers will end up going to. So I'm just going to recreate what's my diagnostic quiz here. So I'll give it a title, Triad Diagnostic Quiz. Probably when I do that, I might want to click up here where it says untitled form. If I just click there, it will name my file. It'll give it the same name. Form description. Well, I just want to say, please answer questions below and click on submit. Now, apparently, it's quite good practice to have the students put their name as the first question. So where it says untitled question there, I am going to click on that and I am going to put your name. Now, what you will see is by default, the style of question that comes up is multiple choice. So I don't want multiple choice for name, so I can change that to short answer, and that will allow the students to type their name in there. The reason we do that is really to help us identify them when it comes to looking at the spreadsheet of their answers. So I now want to add my first real question. So if I click on that plus button there, then underneath it will create a new section for me. So I'm going to call this question 1. I'm going to stick with the default multiple choice. I want to add an image. I copied these questions from a website, so they're all actually images. So if I click on that button there, and it takes me to a folder. I've just chosen a folder on my drive. So if I double click my image, that's given me a picture of the first question. Now underneath that, this is going to be multiple choice, so 2 to the power of 4, what does this equal? So all I need to do now is select A, B, C, or D. And that is done. Now I want to add the second part of the question, which is the descriptive part. So here, I'm not going to write question 2, I'm just going to put explain your answer. Okay, at this time, I don't know what happened there, but the paragraph is actually the type of answer that I want. I don't know if it recognized what I typed in there and chose it for me, or if I hit that accidentally. Anyway, paragraph is what I want, so I'm done. I'll do 2 questions because I'm going to change the display a little bit in a moment. So question 2, again, I'm going to add an image, choose question 2. Okay, that looks fine. A, B, C, D. I will add a question. Explain your answer. It has changed it to paragraph automatically. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now let's have a look at what that will look like when I click on the preview button, so the student's view, if you like. So there we go, Triad Diagnostic Quiz. Your name, question 1, there we've got the options. Now, what I don't like about this at the moment, you can imagine that if I've got 10 questions on here, that it's going to be a long scroll through it. I would prefer it to be like 1 page, 1 question. So if I go back to the editing view by clicking in the top right corner, I can actually separate it into sections. So I want this front section here to be on its own, the name and the your name. So if I click on that section and then select this button here, add a section, it will actually separate the top part from the second part. Now at the moment, the second part is untitled, so I'll change that. That is, in fact, question 1. And I'll do the same here. So if I click on the last bit of question 1, and then I select add a section, it will separate that. So I've got now 3 distinct sections to my form. And if we look at the preview, I just think it's a little bit cleaner. If I click on next, it'll take me to the first question. There it is, all on one page. Click on next again, and then I've got question 2. And because it's the last question, there's a submit button there. I'm not going to submit that just yet because I want to go back and create the destination spreadsheet. So I'm going to delete that file at the moment. I'll click on leave. We've been on the questions tab at the moment. So now I want to go to the responses tab. And what I'll see is a little button there that looks vaguely like a spreadsheet. If I click on that, then create a new spreadsheet. That's what I want to do, create. And what we should see there is a spreadsheet with the titles that we've put in the form, along with a timestamp that it does automatically. What we should also see, if I go back to my Google Drive, then that spreadsheet has appeared in the same folder as my form. So let's see if it actually all works. So I'll go back to the form, to questions. I'll go to preview. This time I'll put a name in. 2 to the power of 4, well, that is actually 16, so the answer is A. Explain your answer. 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 16. Next. Question 2. That looks like the answer is also A. Explain your answer. When you multiply numbers in index form, if the base is the same, you add the powers. Actually, it's not the vars, it's the base. Okay, this time I will click submit. Your response has been recorded. Okay, if I go to my destination spreadsheet, hopefully what I'll find is that information has actually been added to that. I will make a second video, I think, of how we can format this a little bit to show correct answers and some of the other features involved.